Hello. Today, we're going to be talking about Patrick Rothfuss's The Wise Man's Fear, which is book 2 in the King Killer Chronicles. Of course, this is the sequel to The Name of the Wind, which I've also reviewed earlier. Still centering around Quoth, however you say his name, relating his life story to the chronicler in the inn that he owns. In this book, we go beyond the university. Quoth is kind of encouraged to leave after some hijinks. I don't want to get too into the plot. A lot of stuff happens in this book, but you see a lot more of world building and some different places that he has to go adventuring, and we get a little bit more of the supernatural stuff that is kind of added to the reputation that has been hinted at over the course of the first book. I really enjoyed this book. It is significantly longer. And it really kind of starts to show Quoth kind of grow up and develop and become, more of this larger-than-life character. Some of the criticisms I've seen of the story are how arrogant the main character is, or how the treatment of women starts to get a little silly. Not so much in the female characters, but in the way that Quoth starts to have sex. And I guess that's a little true. It is kind of funny. He has one experience with, like, a fairy, and then he all of a sudden becomes like a lady killer, which is a little funny. But I didn't feel like it detracted from the story at all. And again, I didn't get a sense of arrogance so much as he knows he's smart, and he kind of portrays an attitude to people out of necessity. It was really enjoyable as a page turner. I found myself coming back and wanting to read more and more. I ended up finishing like the last 200 pages in the middle of the night, because I just couldn't put it down, and I am eagerly anticipating the third book in the series, which I believe is the last. I think this one is just going to be a trilogy, because this is called The King Killer Chronicle Day 2, and in the first book he mentions it'll take 3 days to properly tell his story. To be honest, it seems like there's not going to be enough book to wrap everything up. This is like a 1,000-page book, so, that's a lot of pages, so maybe it is. Maybe the next one will be the same length and will be long enough to wrap everything up. But it seems like there's so much there still to explore, that it'll be really interesting to see. Not only because the stuff that's going on while he's telling his life story, but also stuff that's happening in the chapters that break and come back to the present while they're in the inn. Quoth and the chronicler and his assistant Bast. It's very interesting. I've read that the author plans to have another series in the same world, but not related necessarily to the story, and I'm wondering if perhaps it will still center around Quoth, but maybe not younger. It'll be from moving forward from where we're at now. Anyway, it'd be really interesting. It's a good character. I think there's a lot of good world building and interesting forms of magic and stuff. And I found it really enjoyable and not lowbrow or anything. I would definitely suggest picking it up if you like fantasy at all. Especially if you like, and I butchered the word fantasy. Especially if you like Game of Thrones. That is my favorite fantasy right now. But while we are waiting for the next book in that, this is also very good. This is probably right underneath that, as far as the stuff I've read. So the only bad part is that this isn't finished yet. So for the Games of Thrones people like myself who are having withdrawals, you're going to end up reading the first 2 books of this pretty quickly and then have withdrawals waiting for that. And it's going to be even worse because now you have 2 series that you're just, can't wait for. So anyway, I really suggest reading it if you like fantasy at all. If you like kind of Harry Potter, but you want to get something a little more adult, this probably would be along those lines. Very good sequel. Also, see my review of The Name of the Wind for more information. But Patrick Rothfuss, cool dude, seems like. Good books. Good work, man.